Hi, hello, a very happy good evening. So this is Krishnaveni and we've been talking about the story of life or nothing, that's biology. So welcome to my class today. So today we're going to talk about the syllabus wrap-up series. So we are talking about morphology in flowering plants. So this is lecture 3 of your morphology. So Keshav and Vishal seem to have had a conversation already about, I guess, IPL. Okay, fine. So thank you so much for joining before I could, and please do like, share and subscribe. So hi Disha, yes, good evening. So I hope you liked my lecture in the previous class. So now you have come for this lecture. I'm really grateful. I promise not to disappoint you. So if you do not understand anything, so please do stop me then and there and ask me about. Okay. Yes, Shimpi. Hi. I'm very good evening. I am good. How are you doing? So hi Keshav. Hello. How are you? Yes, I'm good. How are you doing? So Sanjay Bhargava. Yes, good evening. So thank you so much. So it's Sanjay. Okay, good evening. So thank you so much for joining my lecture today. So please do like, share and subscribe. So study time. Hi, hello. Yes, a very happy good evening. So thank you so much for watching my session today. So please do like, share and subscribe. Okay. Yes, I'm good, thank you. Okay, so Disha is asking the meaning of morphology and anatomy. Okay, so Disha, morphology is the external feature. So morphologically, I am of this height. So morphologically, this is my color. So that is morphology. So then anatomy is the internal study. When you study the internal organs, that is anatomy. When I say human anatomy, like I'm studying the internal organs of the human being, say the heart, the liver, the lungs, the kidney, etc. So morphologically, how I am developed. So morphologically, if you look at the plant, you have a root, it has a stem, it has a leaf, it has a flower. So that is what we are going to discuss in this chapter, that is morphology. Okay? Yes? You loved it, so thank you so much. It's okay. So now we are here. Hi Naveen, hello, how are you? So thank you so much for joining my session. So come on guys, so quickly do like, share and subscribe. So do you remember the examples from the previous lecture? So previous lecture, so we were talking about a lot of interesting examples and I gave you a lot of interesting clues, right? How to remember the examples. Okay, so when I start a chapter, I tell you the weightage. So as such, I do not have any video based on the weightage of the chapters because I don't think that is essential, because ultimately you have to read all the chapters, right? So the high weightage chapter stands about your human physiology, followed by a diversity in living world, and then you have high weightage from cell, the unit of life. So these three units are high weightage in class 11. In class 12, it is your genetics, it is your ecology and your reproduction. Yeah, so these are the high weightage chapters. So specifically, I haven't thought that I should do one full session talking about the weightage of the chapter. Is that essential? So which chapter ka weightage you need, you tell me. So I will tell you. Yes, DMC. So I told you AR Rahman DMC, right? Okay, fine. Okay, so let's proceed from where we are because we have a lot to cover. So I have not got questions today. So let's cover till presentation. So after presentation, in the next lecture, I will get you questions. That is on Tuesday. So now let's quickly finish off the lecture. Okay, so the much awaited quiz is here. So I want to give you an announcement. So the quiz for tomorrow. Okay, just hold on. Okay. So we'll go with this. Okay, so this is the schedule for tomorrow. Okay, so genetics ka weightage. So your molecular basis of inheritance has the maximum weightage of 6%, and your Mendelian inheritance, that is your Mendelian genetics, has a weightage of 4%, and evolution has a weightage of 2%. Okay, so that is the weightage of genetics chapter. So it is 6, 4 and 2. So it is 12% weightage. So ecology, we have 4 chapters. So each chapter has a weightage of 2%. So totally it is 8%. Okay. So genetics has more weightage, yes. So genetics is a unit that has more weightage compared to all the chapters in class 12, like your human physiology, which has more weightage compared to other chapters. Okay, yes. Fine. So this is the schedule for tomorrow. So tomorrow we are meeting at 4 o'clock talking about lecture 2 of your mineral nutrition. And again 6:30 we are having a mega quiz and diversity in a living world. So we are covering all the 4 chapters in the quiz, and the winner of this quiz will get a free mock test series access. So only one person will get the mock test series answer. So please prepare well. So it will be 20 seconds the time limit for each question, but the number of questions I haven't decided, but I will let you know tomorrow at 4 p.m. session. So please do join me for the quiz tomorrow, and please prepare well. And please do join me for mineral nutrition. So this is the next chapter for plant physiology, right? So in syllabus wrap up, I am done with the first unit. So morphology is the next unit in line. So the first unit, the quiz is up. The quiz is tomorrow at 6:30. So it is a mega quiz. So we'll have a lot of questions covering all the 4 chapters. So Animal Kingdom has a weightage of 7%, right? And the winner of this Menti quiz will get access to a mock test series. So please prepare well and do join me tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Fine? Yes. So shall we move to morphology? So I hope you remember, so whatever we were discussing in the previous lecture. So this is lecture 3 of morphology in flowering plants. So we spoke about the vegetative portion of the plant. So the vegetative parts of the plant include your root, stem and leaf. So in roots, we spoke about the parts of the roots, the modifications of the root. So we have 4 modifications of the root, and finally last one we spoke about the functions of the root. Then talking about the stem, so we had 3 modifications of the stem. So talking about leaf, so we spoke about the 3 main parts of the leaf. Yes. Then we spoke about a term known as venation, so reticulate and parallel venation. Then we also spoke about a term known as phyllotaxy, that is alternate spiral opposite or your word, so that is phyllotaxy. And we also spoke about the types of leaf, that is simple and compound leaf. Yes, so these are the topics we covered. So we also started talking about the next part, that is the reproductive part of the plant. So the reproductive part of the plant is your flower. Yes, so that was arrangement of flower is your inflorescence. So I am not going in detail, but yes, because if I start revising, then that itself will take 20 minutes. So I won't be able to cover today's portion. So taproot, fibrous root, adventitious root. Yes, so we also spoke about the types of root. Yes, Shimpi, thank you. Yes. Okay. So inflorescence, so we spoke about inflorescence. So it is the arrangement of leaf on your floral meristem. So that is inflorescence. So then we went on to talk about the 4 whorls of a flower. Yes, then we spoke about the symmetry of the flower. So what is a complete flower? What is a bisexual flower? So what is a monoecious plant? What is a dioecious plant? So we spoke about all that. Yes, I got inflorescence chart today, so we will talk about inflorescence in detail, okay? Okay, fine. Yes, sure, Keshav, fine. So this is what we spoke about. So last we stopped off with the 3 types of symmetry, asymmetry. So you have radial symmetry and your bilateral symmetry. So bilateral symmetry is known as zygomorphic and your radial symmetry is known as, so how did I tell you to remember? It is your actinomorphic symmetry. So for this only I told you to remember DCM, that is Datura, chili and mustard, right? So this is about the topics that we were discussing in the previous lecture. So quickly going on to today's lecture. So I am not going in detail for revision. I hope the previous lecture is clear. Okay, so now let's talk about the different types of fluorescence. So in the last class, I spoke only about 2 types of fluorescence. So for all those who are listening to my lecture for the first time, so inflorescence is the arrangement of flower on a floral axis. So how it is being arranged? So we have 4 whorls in your flower. The first whorl is your calyx. So calyx are also known as sepals. Then we have your corolla. So corolla is your petals. Then we have your androecium, and then we have your gynoecium. So androecium is represented by stamen and gynoecium is represented by your pistil or your carpel, right? So these are the 4 whorls, and where do these 4 whorls arise? So these 4 whorls arise on your thalamus or your receptacle. So inflorescence is based on how these 4 whorls of a flower are arranged on a floral axis, that is known as inflorescence. So we only spoke about 2 types of inflorescence in the previous lecture. So what are the 2 types of inflorescence? The first one is racemose inflorescence. So example was your radish. So in this chapter, example is equally important. So the racemose inflorescence example is your radish. So here the main axis continues to grow and the flowers are in the lateral branches. So the main axis grows here. And the flowers are in acropetal fashion. So acropetal fashion is they are facing upward. So that is acropetal fashion. So why is there a net problem? So which operator is it? Airtel, Jio? Which operator it is? Yes, you're right, Vishal. So that is monoecious. Okay. So the next type we spoke about is cymose inflorescence. So example was your radish. So what happens here? So the main axis terminates in the flower. So here the flowers are arranged in your basipetal order, meaning the older flowers are on top and the younger flowers are at the side. So this is the main axis. So here the older flower is on top and the new younger flowers are in the side. So this is your basipetal order. Okay? Yes? Only NCERT examples are enough, but NCERT does not give in detail about inflorescence, but sometimes you might get 1 or 2 questions because previous year questions say so. So we will talk about the entire thing. So you just have an idea of what it is. At least if it comes in the option, you will be able to eliminate it, right? So that is the reason. Geo. Okay, so try refreshing. Yes, since morning even my GeoNet is not working properly. So probably some problem there. Yes, so this is the basic introduction I was talking about inflorescence. So now we'll move forward with the further type of inflorescence. So arrangement of flower on a floral axis is inflorescence. So in racemose, the main axis continues to grow and the flowers are borne on the lateral branches. Okay. So then moving forward, the flowers are not present at the tip, the flowers are present at the side because the main axis is growing. So the flowers are arranged acropetally, meaning the flowers face upward. So this is acropetal fashion. It is so your racemose inflorescence is of the following type. So the main division of inflorescence is racemose and zymose, and your racemose inflorescence is of the following type. So what are the type? The first is raceme. Okay. The next one is spike. The third one is catkin. So the fourth one is spadix, and the fifth one is corymb, and sixth one is umbel. So you have 6 types. Okay. Seventh one. Compound umbel. Okay. Yes, I don't know why they are not regular. Maybe they are pretty busy, like you were busy in the beginning. Okay, so these are the 7 types of racemose inflorescence. So once again, inflorescence is broadly divided into racemose and zymose. Your racemose inflorescence belongs has the following subtypes. You have 7 types of racemose inflorescence. So once again, you say it as raceme, spike, catkin, spadix, corymb, umbel and compound umbel. So what are these? So how do they look like? So here I have the description for, okay, so we have 8. The other one is capitulum or racemose head. So under raceme inflorescence, we have 8 subtypes. So raceme, spike, catkin, spadix, corymb, umbel, compound umbel, capitulum or racemose head. So now we'll talk about each of the type. First is raceme. So the peduncle or the main axis elongates and the flowers are pedicellate. When they have the stalk, that is called as pedicellate. Okay. So the main axis is elongated. The main axis of the flower is elongated. So that is your raceme type of inflorescence. Yes, you're not there in the first lecture, but which one do you have a problem? So don't worry. So inflorescence is how the flower is arranged on your plant. Okay, so that is called as inflorescence. So just like I explained, we have 2 types of inflorescence. One is raceme and one cymose. So if you look into the previous slide that I wrote, so you can understand. Yes, this slide. Yes, so inflorescence is arrangement of your flowers on the floral meristem. So arrangement of flowers on the axis. So one flower is here, one flower is here, in which order they are arranged. So that is known as inflorescence. No problem. So please make a note of it. So you keep recollecting, you will remember it. It is not tough. Okay. So the first type of inflorescence is racemose. So in racemose inflorescence, so if this is a plant, the main axis will grow. So the flowers are borne on the side axis. So this is your racemose inflorescence. This is the main axis. So the main axis continues to grow in racemose inflorescence. So the flowers are present in the side branches. So as a result, the plant continues to grow. Okay, Disha. So here in zymose inflorescence, the main axis, so if this is the main axis, the main stem of the plant, so the main axis terminates in a flower. So here you do not have a flower here, here you have a flower. So this is the difference between racemose and zymose inflorescence. Okay. So under racemose, you have 8 types. So I am explaining those 8 types. Are you getting, Disha? Yes. Now is it clear? Okay, so now moving forward. So your racemose inflorescence has the following 8 type. So Shimpi, are you also understanding? Yes. So you have your raceme, so spike, catkin, spadix, umbel, corym, compound umbel, capitellum, racemose head. So one by one we will discuss. So in raceme, the peduncle or the main axis elongates and the flowers are present with a stalk. So when you draw a flower, you have a stalk, right? So this is my stem. So this is my stalk. Okay. So this is also known as peduncle. So this is known as pedestal. Okay. So the main axis elongates. So this keeps on elongating. So such a kind of inflorescence is your racemose inflorescence. Fine. So this is the first one. So the second type, so example of your raceme is radish, and radish belongs to cruciferous family. So please make a note of this. So this I have not taught in my lecture. So in syllabus wrap up I am teaching. So please make a note of this. So raceme example is radish, and how the flower is, the main axis elongates. So the flowers are present on the pedicellate. So it is a type of racemose inflorescence. So here the main axis will continue to grow. Okay. And radish belongs to cruciferous family. Fine. So the next type is spike. The peduncle is elongated, but the flowers are bisexual and sessile. So the peduncle is main axis is elongated, but the flowers are bisexual. So they have both the sexes, male and female, and they are sessile. The flowers are fixed, they do not move. So sessile is unmobile. So that is your spike type of inflorescence. Ma'am, we are not able to imagine. So don't worry, I have pictures in the next slide. Okay, so this is spike. So example is acryanthus. So acryanthus is an example of spike. The next is catkin. So catkin, the peduncle is thin. So catkin is exactly opposite to spike. So catkin, the peduncle is elongated. Here the peduncle is thin, long and weak, and the flowers are unisexual. So here it is bisexual. When a flower contains both male and female sexes, it is called as a bisexual flower. When it contains only male or only female, it is called as unisexual. So in case of catkin, you have unisexual flowers. So the peduncle is thin, long and weak. Okay. So example is your mulberry and your oak. So these are examples of your catkin. So have you noted it down? Yes? Okay. So the next one is spadix. So peduncle is thick, long, fleshy. So it is also sessile. So it is also immobile. It cannot move. It is unisexual. Flowers are covered with colorful bract. So the colorful bract is known as spathe. Okay? Because I know. Because I have also been a student, I know it is just tough to remember just like that. So even I understood, only I saw the picture, but I could not fit everything together. So that is the reason. Okay. So spadix, here the peduncle is thick, long, fleshy. So the flowers are once again unisexual and they are covered with a colorful bract, and that bract is known as spathe. So when you see the picture, you will understand. So just make a note of it. So example is your colocasia, maize and palms. Okay. So example of your spadix is your colocasia, maize and palms. So here I have told you 4 types. The first 4 types: raceme, spike, catkin, spadix. Okay. So have you noted the example? For your raceme, it is radish and it belongs to cruciferous family. So R and R. So spike is, so you remember spikes. Okay. So spikes, acheranthus. So remember any person with hair having spikes in their hair. So remember that. So catkin, So mulberry and oak. So this is easy, right? The catkin loves mulberry. So cat, you know cat, so kin we call them as relatives. So catkin loves mulberry and they live on the oak tree. So you can frame a sentence and remember. So then Spadix, so Spadix, if you look at the figure you will know. So you can remember which plant it is. At least you will remember maize. Okay. So yes. So the next one is coral. It is like a comb. Okay. So how is your comb? So your comb is like this, right? So you have lot of teeth present. So this is your comb. So the peduncle is short and all the flowers are at the same level. It is literally like this. The peduncle is short and all of them are flowers. So all the flowers lie at the same level. So that is your corym. Fine. So example of your comb is cauliflower. So cauli has so many flowers like cauliflower. So all the flower is at the same level. Yes, so that is your corym example. Okay, so moving forward. Wait, first I will show. Yes. So this is your spat. And this is your Spadix. So can you remember this? So this is your colorful spat and this is your Spadix and this is the Spadix type of inflorescence. So here example is your maize. So this is how your maize looks like, right? Hi spectrates. Okay, you're late. So we are talking about morphology in flowering plants. I am specially talking about inflorescence today. Okay, so done. So this is the first picture I want to show you. Okay, so here I have the entire picture. So raisin. So the first one. So here the flower is here. So this peduncle elongates, the flowers are pedicellate, right? So this is your racemose. Example we read is your radish. So this is your spike. So I showed you what is a spike or your Spadix. Yes. Okay. So net got over. All right. Okay, Disha. I am really sorry. So bye bye and thank you so much. Okay. So this is spike. So example of spike we will remember it as maize. So then it is your spikelet, you can leave this. Then it is catkin type of inflorescence. The flower is unisexual. Yes, so this is your catkin type. Then okay, so this is your spike. I am sorry, for spike we will remember your acranthes. So your spike and your catkin are opposite. So this has bisexual flowers, this has unisexual flowers and this is your Spadix and this is corym. So corym is all the flowers are at the same level, right? So this is your cauliflower. So now we will talk about umbel. Okay. So now are you able to recollect? Are you able to link the terms? Yes. Is it clear? Are you able to link it? Any doubts? No? So shall I move forward to the next two types, that is umbel and capitulum. Okay, so moving forward to umbel, the flower stalks of different flowers are more or less of equal length that arises from the same point. The stalk of the flowers arise from the same point. So that is umbel. So it is umbrella shaped. So it arises at the same point but the length can differ like this. So this is your umbel. So example is your centella. So you have compound umbel. So that example is coriander. Fine. So then capitulum. So the growth of the peduncle itself is retarded. So it is flattened, it is concave or convex. So example is your Asteraceae family. So Asteraceae family includes your sunflower family. So all your sunflower like plants come under your Asteraceae family. So that is your capitulum. So here what happens? The stalks are more or less of different height but they arise from the same point. Okay. So that is umbel. So capitulum is the peduncle is retarded. So now if you look into the figure, you will be able to recognize the stalks are of different length but they arise at the same point. Okay, so you hold the umbrella at one point, right? So remember it like this. Then capitulum, the peduncle is retarded and it is flattened, it is concave shape. So this is your capitulum. So this is your example of your Asteraceae family and here you have centella. Okay, yes. So imagine you having centrofresh and walking inside an umbrella. So that is umbel and remember centella. Okay. So the first type of racemose inflorescence is done. So shall I go to type of zymose inflorescence? Yes. Okay. So talking about the next type, that is zymose inflorescence. So here the main axis shows limited growth of peduncle because the flower is present in the main axis in case of zymos. So the peduncle terminates in a flower. So the main axis of the flower is known as peduncle. So here the peduncle terminates into a flower. So that is a type of zymos inflorescence. Okay. So the flowers are arranged in basipetal succession, meaning older flowers on top and younger flowers on the sides. So this is basipetal succession. Okay. So what are the types of zymos inflorescence? You only have 3 types. Unlike your racemose inflorescence which had 8 types, so here we have only 3 types. Okay. One is uniparous chyme or monochasial chyme. So the peduncle ending in a flower, that is producing lateral branch at a time of ending in flower. It produces only one lateral branch which ends in a flower. So this is uniparous. Okay. So example, so uniparous, you have types which can be helicoid, which can be scorpioid. For each of them you have examples. So I will show you the figure. Yes, so you have a flower. So the main axis, so this is the main axis. So this is your peduncle. So here the main axis forms a flower. So below the flower you have another main axis which terminates in one flower. So you have only one branch arising from one peduncle. So this is unichasal. Okay. So here if you look bichasal, so this is the main peduncle. So 2 branches arise. So this is dichasial. Okay. Yes. And multiparous, so from one peduncle you have so many branches arising. So this is multi. So your zymos inflorescence is pretty easy to remember. So just write it down and keep so that you should know where this comes. For example, the question can be as simple as this. Catkin inflorescence is a type of which one? Zymos, racemose, etc., etc. So you should know it comes under racemose, right? So that is the reason I am telling. Just make a note of it. It's okay. We have read so much in NCERT. Cannot we read 2 things? Yes. So this is your one branch is arising. This is unichasal. So you have 2 branches arising bichasal. You have many branches arising. This is multichasal. Okay. Yes. So once again going to the theory. So uniparous or unichasial chyme, the peduncle ending in a flower, it produces a lateral branch. It produces one lateral branch at a time. So this can be in a helicoid fashion. It can produce in a helicoid fashion or in a scorpioid fashion. I told you, I showed you 2 examples, right? So for helicoid, it is helicotropium, and for scorpioid, it is bigonia. Okay. So then dichasial, the peduncle ends in a flower. From the basal part, you have 2 lateral branches arising. So example is your bougainvillea and your jasmine. Okay. So remember BJ. So just like your BJ, you have your BJ. Okay. So remember BJD. So now multiparous, so from the peduncle ends in a flower and from the base you have multiple lateral branches arising. So that is multiparous. So example is your calotropis. Done? So example is your calotropis. Understood? So have you written this down? So should I wait? Have you written this down? Yes, at least take a screenshot of this so that you can write it later. I have moved aside. Yes, quick, make a screenshot of this so that you remember. Yes, done? Okay, so shall I move forward? Okay. So I hope you have understood the picture. So we have your scorpioid and we have your helicoid. So the next one, special type of inflorescence. So we have discussed only 2 types of inflorescence, racemose, zymose. So under racemose we had 8 types and under zymose we had 3 types. Now what is the special type of inflorescence? The first one is cyanthium. Okay. So then it is your verticulaster. Then the third one is hypoxanthium. So you have 3 types. Okay, so we have 4 types of special inflorescence. First one is xanthium. The next one is verticillata. The third one is hypanthodium. So this is first one, xanthium, verticillata, then hypanthodium, then you have mixed inflorescence. So mixed inflorescence include both your zymos and your racemos. Fine. So xanthium, the bracts or the involucule is fused to form a cup-shaped structure. So this is xanthium. So remember, xanthium is cup-shaped structure. So you have bracts, bract or bracteoles. So at the leaf present at the base of a flower is called as bract. So when it is present, it is called as bracteoles. So that is in a cup-shaped form. It covers a flower. So example is Euphorbiaceae family. Fine. So verticillata, so meaning it is a cluster. It is a cluster of sessile flowers, meaning immobile flowers. So you have 3 to 9 flowers in a cluster. Okay, it is borne on dichasial chyme. So 2 branches arising and each giving to a cluster of flowers. So example is your tulsi plant. Okay, Osmium is your tulsi plant. So Osmium is the binomial name for your tulsi plant. Okay, so the next one is hypanthodium. So hypanthodium is peduncle is modified in a narrow cup-like structure. So that is hypanthodium. The main axis, that is peduncle, is modified in a narrow cup-like structure, like in case of banyan, peepal and ficus. So the last one is mixed inflorescence. It has both racemos and zymos. So example is your banana. So the spadix of the banana, yes. So you have the banana flower, right? So that is the spadix inflorescence. So take a screenshot of this. I will show you the picture. So now we have your xanthium. So it is cup shaped like this. So the bracts form a cup shaped form, and this is your verticillata. You have a cluster of flower. You have 2 branches. So this is your verticillata. Then hypanthodium. So what happens in your hypanthodium? So it's your tulsi plant, right? So hypanthodium is your banyan. So you have a narrow cup-like structure, and then you have mixed inflorescence. So please write this down. Have you written this down? So with this we are done with inflorescence. I am not giving you any extra points. This itself is too saturating, I understand. Yes, done? Yes, have you written it down? So shall I move forward? Yes? Done? Okay, so shall we talk about the next part? Okay, so I am moving forward. I hope you have written it down. Okay, so now coming back to our own discussion. So the floral appendages, so this can be trimerous, tetramerous, pentamerous. So based on the floral appendages, you have multiples of 3, 4, 5. So now if you look at this picture, so you have 3 petals, right? So this is trimerous. So it is in the multiples of 3. It will have either 3, it will have 6, it will have 9, etc. So this is trimerous. Okay. So this has 4 petals, so it is tetramerous. So this will have in the multiples of 4, 4, 8, 16, 24, etc. Fine. So then pentamerous, it has 5 petals, so it is in the multiples of 5. So 5, 10, 15, etc. So this is your floral appendages. So trimerous in multiples of 3, tetramerous in multiples of 4, and pentamerous in multiples of 5. Okay. So this is your floral appendage. So moving forward to the next part. So the flower, so the reduced leaf found at the base of your pedestal. So the pedestal is known as the stalk of the flower. Okay. So the main axis is known as peduncle. So this is your main axis. So this is your peduncle on which the flower arises. So this is the peduncle. So from the peduncle, this is the thalamus, and then you have a stalk, and then you have your flower arising. So this is known as your pedestal. So in the base of your pedestal, you have a leaf-like structure. So that is known as bract. If bract is present, it is called as bracteole. If bract is absent, it is called as ebracteoles. Okay. So bracteoles and ebracteoles, you add a E in front. So based on the presence or absence of flowers, so flowers can be bracteate or ebracteate. Okay. So this is the pedestal, this is the stalk, and here you have leaf-like structure. This is your bract. Okay. So don't confuse bract with your sepals. So at the tip of the pedicel, you have your sepals. So this is your sepals, this is calyx. Ma'am, this is also green, this is also green. No. So this is your sepal and this is your bract. So bract is below the pedicel. So your calyx is at the distal end of the pedicel. Okay, clear? Yes. So moving forward. So bract and the floral bract. So this is our original figure. So the next one, based on the position of the four whorls, so how it is classified. So hypogamous, so base you have four whorls, right? Calyx, corolla, andrecium, gynoecium. So how these four whorls are positioned? So is there any particular pattern in which they are produced? So hypogynous. So hypogynous is gynoecium occupies the highest position. So you have your calyx, corolla, andrecium, gynoecium. So gynoecium is at the top, all the other three floral whorls are below. So that is known as hypogynous. So gynoecium is on top. Okay. So other parts are situated below it. So here the ovary is called superior because gynoecium is above and all the floral whorls are below surrounding it. So your gynoecium occupies your top position. So here your ovary is known as superior ovary. Fine. Okay, so example is mustard, China rose, brinjal. So previously how did we, so I told you China rose is your hibiscus. Yes, and mustard has yellow color flowers. Okay, so to make brinjal curry, you add mustard in the starting. So remember it like this and you pluck your hibiscus flower. So in these three things, you have the ovary in the superior form. So you can remember this as BCM. So biology, chemistry and maths, any way that you want to remember, you can remember. Okay, so you can remember MHB also. So hibiscus is your China rose. So this is hypogynous flower. So can you see over your gynoecium occupies the top position. So your calyx is here, your petals are here, your andrecium is here. So all others are below it. So this is your hypogynous flower. So the next type is your perigynous. So perigynous means the gynoecium is at the center and all floral parts are located on the margin of it, okay, on the rim of the thalamus. So on the thalamus you have the four floral whorls and your gynoecium is in the center, and if your thalamus is like this, gynoecium is in the center and the other floral whorls are from the rim of the margin. So sorry, on the rim of the thalamus, meaning from the mouth of the thalamus. So literally all the four floral whorls are at the same level. So that is your perigynous. So here the ovary is half inferior. So example, plum, rose, peach. So remember PPR. So you have your KKR in IPL, right? Kolkata Kite Rider. So remember PPR. So you can make any abbreviation. So plum, rose, peach is your perigynous. Okay, so since the example starts with P, this is perigynous. Okay, so remember hypogynous, remember hibiscus. So if you remember hibiscus, you will remember mustard. So I told you to make brinjal curry. So remember this HMB, anything you can have. So perigynous. So in perigynous, so you have your thalamus. On thalamus, you have your four floral whorls, right? So this is my thalamus and in the center I have my gynoecium. So on the rim of the thalamus, on the tip of the thalamus, I have the other three whorls present in such a way that all the four whorls are present on the same level. So that is your perigynous position. Okay, so this is the example. This is your perigynous. So the ovary is half inferior. It is not at the top. So everything is in the same level. Okay. So this is your thalamus. So everything is present at the rim of the thalamus. So the ovary, the gynoecium is at the center. So this is your perigynous condition. Fine. So moving on to the last type. So this is your epigynous. So your ovary is, your gynoecium is down and all the other floral whorls are below. In hypogynous, it was just opposite, right? So gynoecium was top and all the other floral whorls were below. So here gynoecium is at the bottom and all the other floral whorls are on top. So here the ovary is inferior because the ovary is below, right? So here the ovary is inferior. Examples are guava, cucumber and ray florets of sunflower. So you have small bunches of sunflower, right? So that is ray florets of sunflower. So epigynous, the ovary is superior. So remember CGS. Okay, so this has inferior ovary. So yes, the ovary is at the bottom. So epigynous. So you will remember guava, cucumber, and sunflower. Fine. Yes. So this starts with E. So you will remember. So you'll remember ECG. So we know what is ECG. We have read in body fluids and circulation. So epigynous is ECG. So remember, yes. So you are doing ECG for a person S. Right? Epigynous is guava, cucumber, and ray florets of sunflower. So once again, hypogynous. So the H starts with example hibiscus. So hibiscus is known as China rose. Then you have mustard and brinjal. So perigynous example starts with P. So it is PPR. So plum, rose, plum, peach and rose. Then you have your epigynous. So ECG for person S. So guava, cucumber and ray florets of sunflower. So this is based on the position. Done? Yes? So shall I move forward? Okay. So this is your epigynous. Can you see your ovaries below? So the ovary is inferior and all the other floral whorls are situated on top of it. Done? So you understood this? No doubts? So can I move forward? Okay. So moving to the next part. So the next part should be so parts of a flower. So calyx is known as sepals, I hope so, and corolla is petals. So they are colorful portion, androecium and gynoecium. So what are we again going to study? So if the calyx or sepals, so that is the outermost whorl, right? So if the calyx are fused with each other, so the outermost green color parts are your calyx, and if the calyx are fused together, that is called as gamosepalous. So calyx are the outermost whorl and they are green leaf-like and they protect the flower. Okay. So the sepals, when they are united with each other, when two or more sepals are fused together, the condition is known as gamosepalous. So gamo is fusion. So sepals talks about your calyx. So it is gamosepalous. So when the flowers are free, when they are not attached or fused with each other, it is known as polycephalous. So when they are united, the condition is known as gamosepalous. When they are free, it is known as polycephalous. Okay? Yes? So it will be like this. So here they are free from each other. So here it is polycephalous condition. So moving forward to the next part. So can you see here it is fused. So everything is fused. So here it is gamosephalous. So here it is polycephalous. Done? Okay. So the next one. So corolla is petals. So they are the bright and colorful portion of the flower. So when the petals are united, when the petals are fused together, it is gamopetalous. Okay. So when the petals are free, it is polypetalous. So that was gamosepalous, polycephalous. This is gamopetalous and polypetalous. Okay. Done? Fine. So they can be of various shapes. It can be tubular, bell-shaped, funnel-shaped, wheel-shaped. So the flowers add beauty to the flower, right? Sorry, the petals add beauty to the flower. So here it is not fused. So it is polypetalous. So here they are fused together. So it is gamopetalous. Okay. So these are the terms that I want you to remember. So the next type is aestivation. So this we'll talk about aestivation and then I will stop. I know it's too much saturating for you because inflorescence was itself a heavy dose. Okay, so aestivation, it is the mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in a floral bud with respect to the other members of the same whorl. So we spoke about hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous based on the structure of the gynoecium. Sorry, based on the position of the gynoecium. Now based on the position of your, based on the arrangement of your sepals and petals, so we are going to talk about aestivation. So aestivation is based on the arrangement of petals or sepals. It is called as aestivation. So we have four types of aestivation: vallate, twisted, imbricate and vexillary. So we have four types of aestivation. So how will you remember the four types? Very important chapter. Sorry, very important topic. So sorry, it is very important topic. So valvate, vexillary, This is imbricate and twisted. So every time in NEET you have a question from this. So that is why it is a very, very important topic. So valvate, vexillary, imbricate and twisted. So these are the 4 types of your estivation. So what are these? So first let's talk about valvate. So the sepals and petals in a whorl just touch, so the sepals or petals, so we will consider the petals because it is easier to understand. They just touch each other at the margin without overlapping. Okay. So hi Miracle Boy, yes, a very, very happy good evening. So thank you so much for joining us after a very long time. So please do like, share and subscribe. Yes, because it is saturating, right? Yes, I have a lot of portion, but still it's saturating. So there is no point giving you overdose. But we can still take extra classes and finish it off. Don't worry. So this is a petal. So the petals are just touching each other and they are not overlapping. So this is called as valvate estivation. Okay. So this is valvate. So example is your calotropis. Okay. So we have your VC, right? So vice chancellor. So vice captain, so they are given the first priority among the common students. So the first type of your estivation is valvate. So remember VC. Okay. Yes. So this is how it is. They just touch each other at the margin and they do not overlap. Okay. Yes. So this is your valvate estivation. So moving forward to the next type. So the next type is your twisted. So one margin of the appendage overlaps the next one. So if I have 5 petals, so this is there. So this overlaps like this. So there is overlapping on only one side. So this is known as twisted. For example, if I talk about this, okay. So it is like this. So this is one petal, this is another petal. So this petal on this side, it is on the inner side, so it will be on the outer side. It will be like this. So this is on the inner side, this will be on the outer side. So this follows a particular pattern of your arrangement. Okay, yes. So twisted, one margin of the appendage overlaps the next one. Fine. So example, China rose, lady's finger and cotton. So this shows twisted estivation. Okay. So TCLC. So twisted estivation, China rose, lady's finger, cotton. So remember TCLC. Okay, so you can remember hibiscus also, THLC, so whichever way you want. So the next type is imbricate. So this does not overlap each other in any particular pattern. So when you have random overlap of the petals, it is known as imbricate estivation. So example of your imbricate is cassia and your gul moher. Okay, so remember ICG. Okay, so instead of ICU, you have G. So this is your imbricate estivation. Okay, so here I have a picture of these both. So in twisted, so see this petal is on the inner side, one side is on the inner side, one side it is on the outer side. So this petal, one is on the inner side, one end is on the outer side. So this has a definite pattern. Okay, so this is your twisted estivation. In case of your imbricate estivation, there is no particular pattern. So here both the sides are, both the ends are inside. Here one is outside, one is inside. So it is a random overlapping. So this is your imbricate estivation. So the last one is your vexillary. So in case of vexillary, you have 5 petals that is present. Okay. Yes, so that will come in the next class, not in today's class, Miracle Boy. I am really sorry. So vexillary has 5 petals. It has one standard and large petal that is called a standard, and it has 2 lateral petals, that is the side petals, that is your wings. Then it has anterior petals, that is keel. Okay, so it has a largest petal, that is standard. So standard overlaps the wings and the wings overlap the keel. So you have one standard, you have a pair of wings and you have a pair of keel. So it is like this. So this is standard. So you have 2, this is your wings, and then you have the last one, this is your keel. So this is your wings and this is your standard. Okay, yes. So Vexillary example is papilionaceous. So this is another name of your leguminous plants. So all your leguminous plants like your pea and your bean, they have your vexillary aestivation. So this is your standard, this is your wings, and this is your keel. Clear? So aestivation is clear, no doubt? Yes? Fine? So should I repeat any particular point once again? Are you clear? Okay, fine. I won't say. Fine? Yes, any other doubts? Come on guys. So please do like, share and subscribe. So did you understand today's lecture? Any more doubts? So we still have one more huge topic, that is presentation. After that, the chapter will move on pretty quickly. Okay, so we will stop here because I know it is pretty saturating. It is, I have given you a lot of terms to remember. So please go through your NCERT again and again. So that will make you more confident. Okay, fine. So thank you so much for joining my lecture at this late hour. So please do like, share and subscribe, and thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. So wait for tomorrow 4 p.m. We are talking about mineral nutrition. So until then, take care, bye-bye, stay safe and stay strong, stay healthy as well. So this is me signing off. So take care and have a great night ahead.